Have you ever watched a Virgo hesitate just a little too long, and then watched an incredible opportunity slip right through their fingers? It's like watching someone stretch their hand to catch a shooting star, only to pull back at the last second. You feel it. They feel it. And the moment is gone forever. Virgos are extraordinary people. They notice everything. The tiniest detail, the smallest imperfection. They plan, they prepare, and they analyze. But sometimes, that very carefulness becomes a cage. While the world moves forward, a Virgo can be frozen in thought, waiting for everything to be just right. And those moments, the ones that could have changed everything, often pass them by. Today, we're going to explore the 9 reasons why Virgos often miss the best opportunities, and along the way, you might see yourself, or someone you know, in these patterns. Reason 1. Waiting for perfection. Virgos want things perfect. Not just good, but flawless. And that desire for perfection can turn into hesitation that costs them dearly. Imagine a Virgo staring at a job opening. On paper, it's everything they've ever wanted. The responsibilities match their skills, the salary is ideal, and even the office location is perfect. But instead of applying immediately, they tweak their resume for the 5th time, rewrite their cover letter, and research every detail about the company, trying to predict what the interviewers might want. Days pass. By the time they hit send, the position has been filled by someone who acted decisively, someone who jumped in without overthinking. It's not just jobs. It's relationships, side projects, personal challenges, or even spontaneous adventures. Virgos wait for the perfect moment, a moment that rarely exists. And in that waiting, life moves forward without them. Perfectionism also affects how Virgos see themselves. They often feel that if something isn't done perfectly, it isn't worth trying. That mindset creates a paralysis that steals opportunities before they even arrive. Yet, there's a simple truth they need to remember. Done is often better than perfect. Taking action, even imperfectly, opens doors that waiting for perfection will never unlock. Reason 2. Fear of failure and judgment. Even when an opportunity is clear and exciting, Virgos often hesitate because of fear. Fear of failure. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of what others might think. They ask themselves, what if I'm not good enough? What if I mess up? What if people see me fail? The questions spiral, doubts multiply, and suddenly, the chance is gone. Think about a Virgo being offered a chance to lead a high-profile project at work. Their mind races, what if I can't handle it? What if everyone is watching me fail? They start imagining worst-case scenarios. Every potential mistake feels magnified, and in the end, they politely decline, or they procrastinate until someone else steps in. This fear is emotional, not just practical. Opportunities leave a lingering ache when they pass, a what could have been that stays in the mind. Virgos feel it deeply because they are introspective by nature. The antidote isn't recklessness. It's reframing failure as feedback, as learning, as growth. Every misstep is a lesson, not a loss. Understanding that allows Virgos to move forward, even when the risk feels scary. Reason 3. Overthinking everything. Virgos think. A lot. Sometimes too much. They analyze, overanalyze, calculate every angle, and imagine every possible outcome. Picture a Virgo staring at a potential business idea. They make lists, weigh risks, study trends, calculate numbers, and imagine competitors' reactions. Hours turn into days, days into weeks. By the time they're done thinking, someone else has launched, someone less prepared but willing to leap, and the opportunity is gone. Overthinking creates a trap. The mind sees potential pitfalls everywhere, making every decision feel dangerous. Even when the odds are in their favor, the paralysis of analysis takes over. But there's a subtle shift that can help. Recognizing when thinking becomes procrastination. Action doesn't need to wait for perfect clarity. Often, even imperfect steps lead to progress. Opportunities rarely wait for someone to feel ready. They pass by in real time. Reason 4. Distrusting their own intuition. Virgos often have sharp intuition, but they rarely trust it. Logic, checklists, and planning dominate their thinking. Imagine a Virgo presented with a creative opportunity, an idea that feels exciting but unconventional. Their instinct whispers, yes, do this. But the mind argues, no, it's risky. Check every possible outcome. The instinct is ignored. Days later, the project succeeds in someone else's hands. Intuition is a form of wisdom. It comes from experience, observation, and subtle patterns the mind notices before the conscious brain does. Ignoring it costs Virgos chances that might have been transformative, whether in love, career, or life adventures. Trusting instincts doesn't mean ignoring logic. It means balancing the gut feeling with analysis and allowing yourself to step forward even when everything isn't fully certain. Reason 5. Overemphasis on long-term consequences. Virgos think ahead. They see the bigger picture. But sometimes, that forward thinking becomes a barrier. A short-term opportunity appears, a new job, a project, or a social connection that could open doors. But a Virgo hesitates, worrying about potential long-term consequences. They imagine all the things that could go wrong, all the risks, and all the mistakes that could haunt them months or years later. Meanwhile, life moves fast. The opportunity passes. The chance to learn, to grow, or to experience something extraordinary vanishes. The key for Virgos is learning to evaluate risk realistically, not catastrophically. Every choice has risks. Every step forward involves uncertainty. But sometimes, the calculated risk is the one that changes everything. Reason 6. Focusing too much on details. Details are a Virgo's superpower. They notice what others overlook, and that attention to detail often creates excellence. But it can also blind them to the bigger picture. Imagine a Virgo negotiating a deal. They scrutinize every clause, every word, every small term. And while they focus on what's minor, the main opportunity, the chance to create something impactful, lucrative, or transformative, slips away. Virgos need to remind themselves that sometimes seeing the forest matters more than counting every leaf. The best opportunities often require both precision and vision. Reason 7. Lack of self-confidence. Virgos are self-critical. They see flaws, weaknesses, and shortcomings with remarkable clarity. But sometimes, that clarity turns into self-doubt. An invitation arrives, a promotion, a project, a chance to collaborate, or even a connection in love. The Virgo thinks, I'm not ready. I'm not good enough. And instead of stepping forward, they step back. Someone else steps into the role. The Virgo wonders later what might have been. Confidence doesn't require perfection. It's the trust to take a step forward despite fear, the courage to say yes even when the mind whispers no. Confidence opens doors that doubt keeps closed. Reason 8. Waiting for approval from others. Virgos often want reassurance before they act. They ask friends, mentors, family, colleagues, is this okay? Should I do this? And while they wait for affirmation, the chance is gone. Life doesn't wait for permission. The best moments, the ones that change careers, relationships, or personal growth, happen quickly. Hesitation due to seeking approval can mean missing them entirely. The lesson is simple: trust your judgment. Listen to advice, but make the final call yourself. Your perspective is valid, and sometimes the world rewards those who act decisively. Reason 9. Resistance to change. Virgos crave order, stability, and routine. And when an opportunity requires flexibility or stepping out of comfort zones, their instinct is to hesitate. Imagine a new role in a different city, a project that challenges their skills, or a relationship that asks them to grow. The Virgo worries, hesitates, and often declines, choosing the known over the unknown. But life's best opportunities rarely come without change. Stepping into discomfort, embracing uncertainty, and saying yes to challenges often leads to the most growth, joy, and fulfillment. Conclusion: Virgos are extraordinary. Their minds are sharp, their hearts are thoughtful, and their intentions are always meticulous. But their greatest strengths, attention to detail, self-awareness, and careful planning, can sometimes hold them back. Perfectionism, overthinking, self-doubt, fear of judgment, and resistance to change can all prevent them from seizing the moments that could change everything. The key isn't to stop being careful or meticulous. It's about balance. It's about taking steps even when things aren't perfect. Trusting instincts, embracing change, stepping into discomfort, and acting despite fear. Life moves fast. Opportunities are fleeting. And the moments you take hold of today are the ones you'll look back on with pride tomorrow.